kill me. No, it didn't. Once again, from a secret, undisclosed location, hidden somewhere deep in the bowels of downtown St. John's, Newfoundland, comes in the Library of Graphic Literature with your host, me, Boss Ryan. Let's have a spin of the old wreck. And of course, I no longer have pink eyes. Whee! No pink eye, do 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 do. Okay, anyway. Where was I? Oh yes, planet Earth. Okay. Have a sip. And just for those who are wondering, me and Dennis haven't forgotten about our podcast coming up, Thursday Comics. We're still working on it. Of course, my pink eyes kept me off the out of action there for a little while, but now I'm back at it. Going to be doing our little logo and stuff like that. We're going to give it a test run this weekend, see how it goes. And one of the first things I'll be talking about, and I'm angry, or damn angry, or damn gree. DC apparently is, they at first cancelled the solicitation for Jonah Hex. Now they want to take Bronze Age off the cover and all that, because someone, I don't know who it is, but they should be fired, at DC Comics, thinks that, oh, we can't have Bronze Age on the covers. At least that's what Bleeding Cool is saying. If it's true, it's kind of sad, because Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, the ages are one of the first things you learn as a comic book fan. And what is this you're trying to erase, or you're ashamed of it? There's nothing wrong with Bronze Age, my friends. There was a lot of great comics there, and if it wasn't for the Bronze Age, we wouldn't have the comics we have today. So it's about time you own up to it, DC. Don't go hiding. Don't be ashamed. God. And just wait until I get out to it. Because I'm very nice on this show, but when it comes to the podcast, well, you're going to hear me. You're going to hear a whole different Wallace. I may even change my name for the podcast, because it's just going to be a whole different person. It's the real me. Anyway, I got a cup of heavily cream here on the go. Oh, and for any of you local fans of the show, I was at Downtown Comics there today and shared a sandwich with my good buddy Jason Conway, the master of Downtown Comics, and he got these sandwiches from Chinched here on Bates Hill. So, and I have to say, it was one of the best sandwiches I have ever had in my life. So this is just a little shout out to those guys. So if you live here or you're visiting here, check them out for their, I think it's just a Lunch Monday menu for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Anyway, check their Facebook page. But the sandwiches are to die for. I can still taste it in my tummy. It was delicious. Anyway, great sandwiches. Anyway, from sandwiches to teas to books. Whoa! What a guy. This show is filled with everything this week. So, let's get to it. Let's do it to it. First of all, from the fine folks at Dark Horse Books comes Rain with Mary Talbot and Bryan Talbot. Woo! Two of my favorite creative people out there, especially Bryan Talbot. I've been a huge fan of Bryan's for years. I absolutely love his, what is it? I got him there, the Granville series. Check that out. To me, one of my favorites of his work. But this one looked cool. Whenever I see Bryan's name on it, something, I just buy it automatically. He's one of the few artists out there like that. There's him, maybe the Hernandez brothers, anything with Kirby's name on it, Ditko's name on it, Walt Simonson, Howard Chaykin. There's a lot of people out there like that. As soon as I see their name, Barry Windsor Smith, I'll just buy it without even thinking. J.H. Williams III is one of the more newer artists who, if I see his name, or even writers from everything from Gaiman to Moore to Hickman to Fraction to James Aaron. There's, you know, there's certain people. As soon as I see it, I trust in them. Oh, and I have my heavily cream tea from the Rocket. Thank God. So here, I'll give you a show of this anyway. I like the coloring is quite beautiful in it. There's just something really restrained and intense about the whole thing. So yeah, I really, really encourage everyone to run out and grab this one. It looks fabulous. Run, 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 and get it. And there's a lot of his other books. I think actually most of these, except for that one. I think I have every single other one of these. Anyway, go out and get it and tell Brian I sent you. It's good to be able to see again, by the way, folks. And thanks to all those out there who wish me well with my pink eyes. Not pink eye, but my eyes are white as anything now, right? I'm almost worried they're too white. Anyway, okay, what were we doing? Yes, books. And of course, another entry into the EC archives. This one being Frontline Combat. Woo! From Harvey Kurtzman. He's another one. If I see his name on anything, I'll buy it automatically. One of the giants of comics. Of course, the Harvey Awards are named after him, which were just announced. And I have the winners up on our site, I do believe, on the Facebook page. Have a look at that. I don't know. I don't find the Harvey Awards as exciting as they used to be. I think they need more categories. I don't know. It's just they're just not the. They're not the Eisners. Terrible thing to say, but yeah. Woo! Then again, now if they nominated me for a Harvey Award, I'd take it. Anyway, here we go. Volume 2, Frontline Combat. Once again, I don't care about what people say about the coloring in this. To me, it's close enough for rock and roll. This, of course, I love to feel a book when I first crack it open and just feel those pages cracking as I flick it. Now let's have a quick look through the table of contents. Artists: Wally Wood, John Severin, Harvey Kurtzman, of course, Jack Davis. Ooh, Alex Toth. Wally Wood, of course, Kurtzman, Davis, Severin and Elder, Davis, Severin and Elder. I like Severin by himself, you know. More Kurtzman. Wally Wood, Severin, Kurtzman, blah, 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 blah. Jack Davis, George Evans. Ooh, Rick Estrada. Okay, so, but the two of them, Severin and Elder together are kind of interesting on their own anyway. Anyway, so, oh yeah, here's the Toth story. Oh, it is so cool. Like I say, to me, the EC archives are worth buying just because they're so darn beautiful. And here, of course, this is a piece by Alex Toth, who, of course, is the master of simplicity. He's the one artist I really think who took everything from Kniff and folks like that and brought it onto the comic book page. So cool. Okay. Here we go. Looks like Wally Wood there, of course. The art in these is just incredible. So for those of you who think, oh my God, these were done way back in the 50s, so they can't be cool or whatever. No, these comics still hold together, I think, right up to today. I like the fact that they are, you know, they are that old. They come from another time. There's a sensibility. That's and I've said it before. I like half the thing I like about reading comics, and especially older comics, is they are a window into our past, and you know they show us things about people's attitudes, everything for said era, and it's kind of neat to read back and even when you're reading the like terrible things, you know, like the obviously racist and or sexist stuff you come across. I mean, even when I was younger and I read it, I used to just laugh because it was just seemed ridiculous to me. Even when I was younger, it's just like, oh look what they think about, you know, this or that. You know, it'd be like reading an old crime suspense stories, like the one about the guy who smoked pot and more or less lost his mind and ended up killing people or whatever. You know, it's we all know the stuff is not true and the thinking is outdated, but it was the thinking at the time. So it's kind of cool to go back and, like I say, examine and see what people thought back then. It's like time travel. We can't deny our past either, folks. No matter how guilty you feel about it. Now, speaking of guilty, a guilty little pleasure of mine is reading anything from Mike Mignola. This guy. This guy. I mean, this guy. Bloody cool. I mean, he's very good writer. He's one of the more underrated. I mean, everyone always thinks about Mike as, you know, as a great artist. But I mean, when you think the entire Mignola verses, for the most part, as far as I can think, it's just about all written by him anyway. So I mean, you know, he's a great storyteller all around. And then he picks people, I find, like Christopher Golden and others whose style matches his, and therefore really matches his stories too, right? Oh, I gave myself a haircut too, by the way. Anyway, oh, listen to that. I love that first feeling when you crack open. I just got a whiff of new book smell then too when I wave those. Baltimore is one of actually, I believe that's one of my more created by Mignola and Golden. Oh, okay. Oh, art by Stenbeck. Okay. But yeah, it's one of my favorites of his newer stuff. I have all the books and all that, but I actually will start it all out again and read it right from the start again. Let's see what it says here. It will take something special to impose a unifying vision, and Mignola and Golden have got it. The Wall Street Journal. Surge of vampires have overtaken Europe in the wake of a devastating plague that ended World War I. The determined soldier, Lord Henry Baltimore, battles his way across the continent through ruined ships, vampire nuns, warlocks, all the way to London, where he confronts his bloodthirsty nemesis. I mean, come on, you can do any better than that. I wanted to read that because I figured that was the best way to explain it, but it's absolutely, this is an amazing story. And I'm surprised, actually. I mean, I know they did Hellboy and stuff like that. I'm surprised, although I'm so sure sooner or later someone will adapt Baltimore to the big screen. But I hope when they do that Mike is part of the project, if not running it, because it's the type of thing, if it was mishandled by some Hollywood type, they could really pooch it, and pooch it bad. They could really poochy it, I think is my new word for the day. They could really poochy it. Anyway, Baltimore Omnibus, Volume 1. Really nice book too, by the way. I really got to give Dark Horse major props on their, on their design, the quality of their books, everything like that. Love their library editions, everything top notch work. So keep it up, folks. Okay, now onward we go. Now I got a couple of books here that are already unwrapped because I just couldn't help myself. I had to have a look at it. So let's have a look at the ones that I just couldn't wait to unwrap. First of all, Marvel Masterworks, boom, 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 presents Ghost Rider Volume 1, from the fabulous mind of Gary Frederick, Mike Plug, Tom Sutton, and Jim Mooney. Frederick, definitely one of the underrated writers of the 70s. great writer. He, geez, I wonder what else he did. He, I think he also did, yeah, he left, passed away to 2018. What a drag. Anyway, liked his stuff. I always liked his stuff. And, of course, Mike Plug, fabulous. And Tom Sutton. The stories in here aren't too bad. They're not Sutton's best work, but Tom Sutton is definitely one of the seriously most underrated comic book artists of the late 60s into the 70s. His Doctor Strange work was fabulous. Anyway, Ghost Rider, of course, classic hero. Had to pick it up, right? It was definitely a must read for sure. And like I say, Plug, Sutton, great artwork. Mooney, of course, Mooney is always serviceable. He, as a matter of fact, there's a couple of one. Yeah, this one I actually can remember. I always liked this cover too, the Gil Kane cover here. But yeah, you know, the Mooney's. It was funny because at first when I wasn't really big on Mooney when I first came across him, but the more and more over the years that I've looked back on his work and all that, I've started to love it. So definitely a must-have. Let's have a few quick looks here. But definitely worth picking up, because of course it's one of the new classic heroes of Marvel. Ghost Rider, nothing like him. Of course, this is the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider, so yeah, check it out. Way to go, good work, folks. Now, this of course from a new book here, well, partially new, from the person I think is probably the best, one of the best, if not best writer in my opinion in comics today, and still is Gilbert Hernandez. This is Maria M. This has the original Maria M book and then the unpublished second half of it. I showed up to you here, but I mean there's all kinds of nudity and sex and stuff like that happening in it. So, you know, I'll just leave it to this. Definitely worth reading. Oh, I'd tongue kiss this book if I could. Anyway, Gilbert, you're a winning kind of guy. So yeah, definitely pick that up. Last but not least is, and this is a book I'm in the middle of rereading again, from DC Comics comes All-Star Comics, Only Legends Live Forever. Ooh. Now this of course was the return in the 70s of All-Star Comics. And I bought all these of course at the time when they come out, starting with All-Star Comics number 58 with the classic Mike Grell cover there. And there's great artwork in this, Estrada and Wood, then a very young not Rick Giffen, jeez. A very young Keith Giffen takes over, and he does some amazing work. Some really cool stories here, like here. Keith Giffen, Wallywood. I love these early Giffen stories here. Some of his great work there, and it goes on. A bit more wood and inked and all that, and then on into the Joe Stanton era. And I always like Stanton's work. He's besides being a great penciler and all that, he's also a great inker. He does great inks around the same time for Marvel and on some of their titles. But this one, I was just been dying to get my mitts on this, because these are some of the comics I had when I was a kid, and I loved them. Anyway, that's about it for this week. I'm still mad at DC Comics. I hope you folks are calling them and letting them know that we're angry about these cancellations, and if you're not going to print it, don't solicit it, okay? You hear me, Dan? You hear me, Jim Lee? All you guys there? And if you're looking for someone who knows something about books, hire me! Or hire anyone from our group, for God's sake. Okay, it's just making me angrier and angrier here. Anyway, I'll see you next week, and of course we'll have more news on the upcoming Thursday Comics podcast. It's going to be fun. Okay, take me away there, podcast. Mother Box. Oh, I can feel it. Oh, it's sucking me off into the great beyond there. Okay, see you, folks. Bye. Bye.